Hello friends, warm welcome in this video, that is the pollination. Friends, you know that the male and female gametes in flowering plants are produced in pollen grains and embryo sac respectively. As both types of gametes are non-motile, they have to be brought together for fertilization to occur. That means without bringing them together, fertilization is not possible. Thus, it is the prerequisite for the fertilization. The process of transfer of pollen from the anther to stigma of the flower is known as pollination, and the agents which help flowers to transfer these pollens from anther to stigma are called as pollinators. As the pollen grains are non-motile, they are usually carried from flower to flower by means of external agents. These external agents may be biotic or abiotic. The abiotic agents includes wind, water, and the biotic agents includes range of animals like bee, butterflies, flies, beetles, wasps, ants, moths, birds, and bats. Among the animals, insects, particularly bees, are the dominant biotic pollinators. Even larger animals such as some primates like lemurs, arboreal tree dwellings, rodents, or even reptiles like lizards have also reported as a pollinating agent in some species. Here both flowers and visitors are mutually benefited. Flowers feeds the visitors and exploiting their mobility for pollination and also for the seed dispersal. Basically, the pollinations are classified in two groups: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is a type of pollination which occurs in a single flower or two flowers on a single plant. Self-pollination results in inbreeding or selfing. In contrast to this, cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of a different plants of same species. Pollination can be further divided into three types on the basis of source of pollen grains. These three types include autogamy, geitonogamy, and genogamy. So we will learn one by one. Autogamy. In this type of pollination, a bisexual flower is pollinated by its own pollen grains. Thus, the offsprings are genetically identical to their parents. For example, it occurs in pea plant. Flowers, which use autogamy, consist of several adaptations in the structure of a flower to facilitate this process. It occurs without external pollinating agent. When flower open to expose its sex organ, then it is called as chasmogamous flower. The contrivances which favor self-pollination are bisexuality, homogamy, and cleistogamy. Homogamy means when anther and stigma of a flower become mature at the same time. This condition is called as homogamy, as in the case of sunflower. Sunflowers are self-pollinated even before the opening of flower. Such condition is called as cleistogamy. Underground flowers in some plants which exhibit cleistogamy are never opened. For example, Commelina. Plants like Viola commelina can produce both chasmogamous as well as cleistogamous flowers on the same plant. The cleistogamous flowers are invariably autogamous, as there is no chance of cross pollen landing on the stigma. Cleistogamous flowers produce azure seed set even in the absence of pollinators. Second type is geitonogamy. In a geitonogamy type of pollination, transfer of pollen grains to a stigma of a different flower produced on the same plant. It is functionally similar to cross-pollination as it involves pollinating agents, but it cannot bring about genetic variation and is only of ecological significance. For example, Cucurbita maxima. It is similar to entogamy as pollen grains come from same plant. The third type is genogamy, which is a type of cross-pollination. This is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a different plant. This is only the type of pollination which during pollination brings genetically different types of pollen grains to the stigma, and thus it generates genetically varied offsprings. Allogamy is the term used for transfer of pollen grains from one flower to the another flower on another plant with similar genetic features. Majority of the flowering plants depends on the transfer of pollen grains. Virtually all seed plants need to be pollinated. Most of the food and fiber crops grown throughout the world depend upon the pollinators for reproduction. The agents responsible for pollinations have been grouped into two main categories: abiotic agents and biotic agents. Abiotic agents are non-living agents which include wind and water. The biotic agents includes insects, birds, bats, and other animals. So we learn how these abiotic and biotic agents carry the pollination and what are the adaptations takes place in these flowers for pollination. So the very first type is pollination by wind, which is called as anemophily. Most of the important crop plants are wind pollinated. These include wheat, rice, corn, rye, barley, and oats. Palms are also wind pollinated. So, what are the different adaptations taking place in the anemophilous flowers? The flowers are small, inconspicuous, that means they are not attractive and visible, colorless, without nectar and fragrance. The pollen grains are light in weight, dry, and produced in large numbers to increase the chances of pollination. Considering the wastage of pollen grains, stigma is feathery to trap pollen carried by the wind currents. Stamens are exposed to ears and they have long filaments and versatile anthers. The pollen of wind pollinated plants are most frequently associated with the symptoms of hay fever among people those are sensitive to pollens. It is caused by hypersensitivity to pollen. So now we will learn pollination by water or hydrophily. Hydrophily found only in some 30 genera of the aquatic monocots, for example Vallisneria, Zostera, Ceratophyllum, etc. The various adaptations are takes place in the hydrophilous flowers. Flowers are small and inconspicuous, perennial, that means calyx and corolla, and other floral parts are unwettable. Pollen grains are long and unwettable due to presence of mucilage. Nectar and fragrance are lacking in these flowers. Hydrophily is of two types: hypohydrophily and epihydrophily. The meaning of hypohydrophily means beneath the water and epihydrophily means above the water. Hypohydrophily occurs below the surface of water. Here the pollen grains are heavier than water, sink down and caught by stigma of female flowers. For example, in Zostera, which is a seagrass, the pollen grains are long, ribbon-like, and without exile. In case of epihydrophily, the pollen grains float on the water surface and reach the stigma of a female flower. For example, in case of Vallisneria, which is a submerged dioecious freshwater aquatic plant, in which female flowers reach the water surface temporarily to ensure pollination and male flowers float on the surface of water. As the specific gravity of pollen grains is equal to that of water, that is why they float on the surface of water. Some aquatic plants are also anemophilous, that means they are pollinated by wind, which includes Potamogeton, Alogaris, etc. Some aquatic plants are entomophilous, for example, lotus, water hyacinth, water lily, etc. Now we will see biotic agents. The biotic agents includes living agents. About 80% of plants require the help of other living moving creatures for pollination. These also sustain our ecosystem and produce natural resources by helping plants to reproduce. Often flowers of animal pollinated plants are specially adapted for particular species of animal. So now we will see the pollination by insect, that is entomophily. This type of pollination occurs in rose, jasmine, sistrum, etc. Majority of insect pollinated flowers are large, colorful, fragrant and rich in nectar. When the flowers are small, a number of flowers are clustered into inflorescences to make them conspicuous. Animals are attracted to flower by color and or fragrance. The flower pollinated by flies and beetles secrete fall odors to attract these animals. To sustain animal visitors, the flowers have to provide rewards to the animals. Nectar and pollen grains are the usual floral rewards. For harvesting the rewards from the flower, the animal visitor come in contact with the anthers and the stigma. The stigma is rough due to the presence of hair or is sticky due to the mucilaginous secretions. The pollen grains are spiny and surrounded by a yellowish sticky substance called as pollen kit. Some plants have special adaptations for the insect visitor to help in cross-pollination. For example, they have lever mechanism or turnpike mechanism as in salvia. The petals of salvia are bifurcated. When the insect visits some flowers and sits on the petals, then the stamens are brought down to touch the back of the insect and pollen are laden on it. When the insect visits another flower, cross-pollination occurs. The second type of pollination which occurs by biotic agents is by birds, which is called as ornithopily. Only a few types of birds are specialized for pollination. They usually have a small size and long beaks. For example, sunbirds and hummingbirds. Some ornithophilous plants are bombax, bottlebrush plant, and butea, etc. Adaptations in ornithophilous flowers include flowers are usually brightly colored, large, and showy. They secrete profuse dilute nectar. Pollen grains are sticky and spiny. Flowers are generally without fragrance as birds have poor sense of smell. Next type of pollination is pollination by bats, that is chiropterophily. Bats can transport pollens over a long distance, sometimes several kilometers. Chiropterophilous plants include kadam tree, baobab tree, and sausage tree. In this case, the flowers are dull colored with a strong fragrance, secrete large nectar in abundant quantity, and flowers produce large amount of edible pollen grains. Many insects may consume pollen or the nectar without bringing about pollination. Such floral visitors are referred to as pollen nectar robbers. So if you like this video, please subscribe this channel and share this video to your friends. Thank you.